Alright guys, so today we're going to be making a Kydex sheath for this knife. This knife has been kind of like a work in progress for me for quite some time. Let's see, 3 years now? When I first got started into forging knives, I really liked this style, so I played around and beat one out, and it was terrible. And after that I kind of threw it to the side. Well, when I moved into my new shop 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I found it, in moving all the junk. So I pulled it out and I played with it a little bit, shaped it a little bit more. After I had thrown it aside and found it again, it pretty much became a stock removal project. So I finally got around to finishing it all up, and what I did was, it was inspired by a tracker knife, but I did a flat grind here, and I tried my first ever hollow grind on this portion because I wanted this portion to be a really sharp whittling working section. But as you can see, this side isn't as bad, but my grind lines aren't really good and straight. This side's bad too. On that portion, it's just because I didn't really know what I was doing coming to it. But nonetheless, I finished it up, and this is going to be one of my knives I carry walking through the woods and stuff, because the whole purpose for this style of knife for somebody like me is you can use this portion for chopping and this portion for small fine work. So I need a sheath for it, and I don't really want to make a leather sheath for it because leather's a little more expensive, but I've had some Kydex floating around for quite some time now. I've made a few Kydex sheaths, but I'm not a big fan of it because I'm not really good at it. For some reason, it takes me forever to fiddle with one and get the fit right. So I need some practice, and what better way than to practice on this knife and bring y'all along. So let's go over to the toaster oven, because you have to heat this stuff up so it's pliable and will bend and mold to the knife or whatever you're molding it to. Alright guys, so we're over to the toaster oven, and we are just going to get it warmed up and throw this in. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 200 degrees, 150 degrees, somewhere where this becomes pliable. But what I'm going to do is just have my oven on about 250 and just constantly check on it, and when it's flexible, then we'll pull it out and go from there. Right here is my kind of homemade press. There's the top portion of it, and I just ordered this thermal foam stuff you can get from, I think it's Knife Kits. I'm not 100% sure where I got it from, but here's the bottom. So, and you just put your blade in there and clamp it together, and that's how you get your form. Now, one thing I did forget to talk about is preparation for the knife. You can just form them up just the way they are. I guess there shouldn't be any problems. I don't know that I've tried it any other way, but most people who do a lot of Kydex take and put layers sorry about that. While I'm doing, since I forgot this, I don't want to overcook the Kydex, so I just went ahead and turned it off. That was the little bidding. I kind of was smelling something, and I was, crap, better turn that off. But anyway, so people who do this a lot put a couple layers of tape on the blade, and that's just to give the blade a little separation room between the Kydex, so it slips in and out easier, and it doesn't wreck the finish on the blade. So I wish I had some wider tape, but I don't. I just have this, so this is what we're going to use. So I decided I'm going to bring you over to the workbench. It'll be easier over here.
just kind of, and this probably isn't going to be the best razor blade to use for it because this one's probably dull, but you just cut the outline. And from my understanding, all you really want the tape for is to protect the faces. The rest of the blade will be fine.
Let's go back over to the oven, get them Kydex sheets heated up, and go on with the press. So as far as preparation goes, you want to make sure you have all your clamps on standby and everything, because as soon as this comes out of the oven, you want to put it on the press and get it clamped down as quick as possible, because once that cools down, it doesn't like to form and become as rigid. So my knife's right here, my top's right here. We're going to go ahead and get this warmed up. Alright guys, so we're pretty much up to heat. You can see it's pretty floppy. We're going to pull this out. Got that quick. Lay that on there. This one on top. Flip it there. I hope y'all are in shot. Alright, so now, alright guys, so now we just leave it to cool down, cross our fingers, and hope that it molded good. So I feel like enough time has passed with this knife in the sheath that we can go on and get it out and move on to the next steps, because I got busy with another project and just kind of left it here. So let's go down here and we'll get it undone. Let's do this one first. Alright, yeah, she's good now. Alright, so before we peel it apart, we are going to do a little bit of an outline and go ahead and drill our holes. That way we drill and they line up almost perfectly. This yellow pencil is easily enough to clean off this, but something you can mark out with. Something like that. I'll finalize it all once I'm done, but I'm going to do a couple pinholes, and what I'm going to use is just these little stud caps. They have the one end, and then you take the cap and match it on there. A lot of people use eyelets. I didn't have any eyelets, so these are what I'm going to use. So let's go over to the drill press and get these drilled out. Alright, so there it is. It's probably, I probably could have done a better job with evenly spacing them, but that's alright. So what we're going to do now is get these popped apart and get the knife out. Let's just gently pop this apart. Take the knife out. We can leave that on for the time being. Now what you want to do is make sure there's no little pieces of the Kydex stuck in between here, because if there is, it won't let it seal back up correctly. So we'll just start with the front one. Alright, and what I'm going to do as my strap is take a piece of leather and
have holes punched here and here. That way I can wear it as a belt loop. Well, I may do it here and here. I can wear it as a belt loop there, or if I want to turn it sideways, I can have the belt loop coming through here. So these two, we won't put anything in. And if I have to drill some more, because you know, if my belt don't fit through there, which it might be a tight fit, I'll drill some more. It's no big deal. But let's get the setter. This is a piece of metal with a concave here, and a little anvil type thing with a concave. So let's get to setting these. So you can do this one first. Oh, let's try this. There we go. Get one of the little button caps. Get this here. Alright. So you just want to make sure after you set it that it doesn't wiggle. So for the time being, we're going to leave these 4 open so I can just see how that will be on a belt. I have a piece of leather here. It's got a pin mark on it, but like I said, this is going to be my sheath. It looks like it's the perfect width. So once I get this cut out on the bandsaw, we'll come back and play with, see how it fits the knife and everything like that. So I'm going to jump over to the bandsaw, cut this out real quick. I'll be right back. So here it is. I got it somewhat cut out and rough shaped on the belt sander. I probably took that one a little too close, but that's alright. So now I have the tape all off. Let's get this thing slid in there and see how it... There we go. She clicks in there pretty good. I'm taking. Pop it out. It's a little stiff. She definitely clicks in there good. She's a little stiff, but I don't think that's a big deal. I'd rather it be a little harder to get out than it to just fall out when I'm working. So there that is. I am going to take and get these edges buffed. You buff them on the buffing wheel, they buff out really nice. I'll come back and show you that. And then we'll work on getting this leather done. As you can see, them edges slicked up really nice. So now we're going to focus on putting the piece of leather on there. So there that is. Got the belt sheath there. I definitely think that the only way I'm going to be able to carry it, because these weren't spaced apart enough, is through here, which is fine because I can carry it right on my hip like that. But first, before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's get this cut off. Ooh, feels like it's wanting to cut into the Kydex there. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, definitely, but it'll keep it nice and tight. So there that is. Knife slides in, got that. At the moment I don't have a belt on. Oh. Alright guys, so at the moment I don't have a belt on, but give me 1 second. I'll run, get a belt, and we'll try this puppy out. Alright guys, so I got the belt. Hopefully you can see. Let's see. Tilt you down a little bit more. So that's what it looks like on. I'm not sure how I like it hanging out. But that's what it is. I may carry it a little bit closer here or a little bit further back, but if I carry it further back, well, it'll need to be the other way. But nonetheless, that'll do for now, at least just to carry it around. Even if I don't carry it on my side, it'll give me a holster to carry it somewhere. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. You know, like I said, I don't do Kydex a whole lot. Just figured I'd bring y'all along. I am steadily increasing in subscribers, so I feel like I really got to put out some kind of content, even if it's showing you how I learn. So I hope y'all enjoyed this one. I can't wait to see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a blessed day.